we go, we are live. This is a very impromptu thing. I've just been working all day and I feel a bit restless, so I thought, why not? So I'm just here to have a bit of a nightcap and do some small talk. And maybe I'll just be sitting here talking to myself for all I know. Let me see, I'm just gonna get the chat up here so I can see if anyone joins in. There we go. What is going on here? Let's do like this. Because you don't need to see all of my kitchen in the background right there. Not much to see really. There. So how are you guys doing if there's anyone here right now? I am super tired, but I'm restless at the same time. That's why I'm here. That's what us YouTubers do whenever we get tired. We just end up here anyways. Apparently. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour myself a tiny glass of whiskey and have a nightcap and just small talk for a bit. It's been a freaking long week. And I think it's my time to have weekend now, to have like a couple of days off. I am gonna do a bit of writing still, so I'm still gonna kind of work, but I don't have any deadlines that I haven't met right now. I had suddenly a bunch of them at the same time. I had 2 jobs that had to be translated. I had to write a website for a company and do a translation job for them as well. And then I had a test for my school project thing. It's just been a whole lot. So I feel like it's time to just cool down for a couple of days, recharge my batteries. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm not that good at it all the time. I say that I'm gonna take my time off and relax, but I end up never doing it, I feel like. I always end up doing a lot of my own projects whenever I have time off. It just happens that way. I'm not sure why. So I'm gonna open that whiskey now and see if anyone shows up. And if not, then I'm here having a glass of whiskey and talking to myself, which would have been my night anyways, so just get it caught on camera. Oh, I like that sound. I've been eyeballing this bottle of whiskey for the last 3 hours at least, maybe 4, while I've been sitting working with this website that I'm writing for this company. I was like, oh, as soon as I send this in, oh, meet that deadline, and then you can have a glass. And then just celebrate and relax. So that is what I'm gonna do right now. So let me see if anyone are here. Let me know in the chat if you are. Or maybe I'm still just here by myself. Oh, that is so good. That is just what I needed. I had this extreme urge while I was at work today, not to drink whiskey, but I knew that I had a lot of work to do when I got home, and for the last couple of weekends, I have very spontaneously ended up going out on the town, dancing, going out, and I very rarely do that. I usually spend my weekends either at home or working. doing my personal projects, or I'm with my son. So before 2 weekends ago, I can't really remember the last time I went out on the town dancing in Oslo. I did that when I was in Madrid, but that feels different because that was while I was traveling, and I don't know, you always have this extra kind of energy to do stuff like that when you're traveling. But I haven't done it in Oslo for such a long time. I think maybe the last time I really went out must have been late fall 2017. It's been ages. But then suddenly, I ended up going out last weekend, and then I ended up going out the weekend that was now. And now I think my body's been like, okay, it's weekend, let's party. So I had this sudden urge to go out dancing when I saw that my workday was getting to an end. So it wasn't really the drinking, but it was going out, being social, and just shake it off. It just feels good. But yeah, I had to get home. I had to do this work. I did consider going out to a cafe or something like that and sit there and work, but I realized that with the mood that I was in and the craving to socialize and to have fun, I probably wouldn't have been that productive. So I faced the facts there and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home. And I did. And I did get my work done, and I also got to post another poem today, which I'm really happy about. So this is let's say this is a bit of an update as well. Um, for the last 2 months, I have been consistently posting a blog, at least one blog post every day for 2 months now. And it's been really fun, and I can really feel that it um, speeds up my productivity and my creative flow to have something like that going on every day. And I don't know if you guys have followed that, if you read it or not, but if you do, then let me know what you think and if there's anything you want to see, because I don't really know if I don't get any feedback from you guys. But I really enjoy doing this. I enjoy posting every day. So I'm going to keep on doing it for as long as I can. I have set myself a goal to do it in the entire year of 2018. So I am really going to try to stick to that. So far, I can see from the stats here that there are 3 people watching. So, but I'm the only one posting here, so I'm just gonna ramble away and have my nightcap and do some small talk. So if anyone want to jump in, please do. Like I said, I have a craving to be social, but it's 11:38 p.m. and I've been up since 5 a.m. this morning. I got up super early. I'm trying to get back into my good morning routines. So this morning I got up at 5 a.m. I did my morning yoga and I did my gratitude journaling. Then I had breakfast and woke up Leander. So I had a really good morning. I wish that I would have had time to do some writing as well, because I really want to get that into my morning routine to write in the morning, but I didn't get to do that today because I started work a bit earlier than I usually do. So it ended up being a really, really early morning and it felt so good. I don't know if you guys have followed and remember that I had a period of time that I was very consistent about getting up at 5:45 every morning to do yoga and meditation and gratitude journaling, and it felt amazing and I really miss it. But things happened and I fell out of it for a while, but I'm trying slowly to get back into it now, and doing that today just felt so good. And it's hard to get back into those routines when you've been out of it for a while, but I am really going to try as hard as I can. But I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. Like, it is weekend, it's been a long day, I'm tired, and I kind of really want to sleep in. I probably will set an alarm so I won't sleep for too long, but I'm not gonna get up at 5 a.m. For some reason, this feels oddly social, even though it's just me here. Maybe I just need to talk to someone, which is kind of weird because I talk to people all day at work. And I do small talk like every day, all day, from 9 till 4 or 6. That's when I have my work hours at Specsavers. So I do small talk with customers and I sell glasses and I do enjoy it. And for the most part, most customers are really nice. But some days when I get home, I'm so tired of talking. I just I just can't anymore, and I try to just tune out everything. And other days like today, when probably just because I've been working for hours after I was done working, so now I feel like just chatting a bit and being a bit social. But for now, it's just me and me talking to me, so this could be a bit disturbing for someone. But hey, it is what it is. I don't really mind. So last weekend, I finally got to see It, the movie. I've been wanting to see that for ages, and I thought I was going to watch it at the movies right at the second it got out, but I didn't. And then because I'm a bit afraid of the dark, like scary movies don't usually scare me, but I am a bit afraid of the dark, and going from the movies home to my place is a bit of a train ride, or not a train, but a subway ride and a walk through almost a forest kind of passage, and I really didn't want to watch it and walk home alone afterwards. I know that might make me sound like a coward, and I will admit to that. I'm not afraid of admitting that I'm a coward. Oh, let me see here. Something is going on here. Oh no, what just happened? Oops, let me see. I pushed the wrong button right now. There we are, we're back. Okay, so there's 7 people watching right now, but none of you are trying to chat with me. So either you really enjoy watching me talk to myself, or you're more tired than I am. So please join in. If you have any questions, some small talk, anything, join in. For God's sake, don't just sit there like I'm doing. Let me know what you guys been up to. If there's any one of you here that are usually here, and tell me what you are doing this weekend. And I don't even know if the sound is right now because I don't have any feedback here, but let me know. But yeah, I watched it. I watched it all by myself at home. I rented it on iTunes. And I have to say, I was really pleasantly surprised. I really liked it. Now I just bummed out that I have to impatiently wait for part 2. But I'm so much more happy about the result with this one than I was with the old movie adaptation of it. I have read the novel as well. I love that one. It's a bit of a chunker, but I do recommend it. But the old movie, it just doesn't stay true to the story. It feels like the only thing it's trying to do is to scare the bejesus out of kids. So it just felt cringy, to be honest. Now, I never watched it as a kid, so I didn't get the clown fright from it. But I'm thinking that part of what has made it into what it is now is mostly nostalgia for so many. Christian Rache, hey Christian. No, I'm not talking to only myself. How are you, Christian? What are you up to? Yeah, so I don't have the nostalgia part when it comes to it and the old movie, but I did really enjoy the new one, and it stayed very true to the part of the story with the kids. So I'm hoping that it's gonna stay true to the story when they grow up as well. We'll see. It will come out on September 6th, 2019, I think. So it's a bit of a wait, but not much to do about that. But I've been so lousy with keeping up with new movies. I so rarely go to the movies, and I try to rent movies on iTunes from time to time, but I just have so much to do. And I think I probably should take the time to really sit down and just enjoy a movie from time to time. I would probably benefit from that, but I gotta say, like being alone and being as busy as I am, it's hard to find time when I don't have anyone that will encourage me to watch a movie with them. So it's the same with that and going to bed early. I'm really bad at that as well when I don't have anyone dragging me to bed. So little movie watching and not a lot of sleep. That's what happens. I know that some. Oh, Lucy Christian, I'm okay, a little tired. How are you? Same as you, Christian. I'm a little tired. I've had a really long day. I worked first my daytime job, then I had to work a few hours in my home office afterwards. And when I was done working, I feel super tired, but I feel really restless and in need of some social interaction. That's why I ended up here tonight. So, what are you doing tonight except sitting here? Why aren't you out on the town shaking it off like most people are tonight? Or maybe most people are doing it that tomorrow. I have no idea what like the city life is anymore. Christian, you sound a little blue. No, I'm not really blue. I'm just tired. I'm just really, really tired. But I've had a good day. It's been a good and productive and nice day. But I am tired now. It's been a really, really long day, and I just look forward to relax or to try to relax, which I'm not really good at, but I'm gonna try. But I'm not blue. I'm having a really good day actually. It's mostly just tiredness. Well, had a date tonight, it went well, but feeling a little anticlimactic now. Why anticlimactic? And congrats on the good date. What did you do, if I may ask? I find it hard to be original when it comes to dating because you get sort of tired of the let's just meet up and have a few beers kind of date. So I'm always impressed when people invite me to do something different, but I'm not really good at doing that myself, even though I really want to. I think the most original date I have ever been on, which isn't super original, but it just was a bit different than the let's go out and have a few beers, was that one first date I went on. We actually went to the opera and saw an Italian opera right there in the Oslo Opera House. So that was really nice and a good break from the normal dating. I'm glad to hear that your date went well. That is really nice. Meg Blue Shift, yeah, Blue Shift, yeah, yes. Favorite and least favorite Stephen King you've read so far? Oh, that's a tough question. Well, I'm going to say that Dark Tower is definitely my favorite so far, as when it comes to series that is written. For standalone novels, the best one maybe, oh, I don't know. Gerald's Game was really good. And Under the Dome is definitely one of my favorites. Least favorite so far, I gotta say it was Sleeping Beauties. It just didn't live up to its potential. I I was expecting so much more from it, really. Do you have a favorite and least favorite? So Christian, I cooked dinner and we talked a lot. It was very nice. I think I just have been looking forward to the date and now it's over and I sort of unsure what she thinks. It wasn't the very original though, but I'm a decent cook. Oh, what did you make? That's nice to have a home cooked meal for a date. Was it a first date? Because I'm always very skeptical when it comes to like first dates at home where someone lives. I think that's my mom sitting at the back of my head being like, stranger danger, stranger danger. Meg says, same as for Sleeping Beauties and favorites, probably The Long Walk and Pet Cemetery. Pet Cemetery is very good. I am reading the Bachman books right now. I think The Long Walk is in that one. I think so. But I haven't gotten to it yet. Uh, did you read Doctor Sleep? No, I haven't read Doctor Sleep yet. I actually haven't read The Shining either. I have it on my Kindle and it is on my to-read list for 2018. I did start it once, but then I fell off the wagon for some reason. I can't remember why. So I'm gonna reread that one. Christian, yeah, first date, and I'm not dangerous. Really, I'm not. I'm sure you're not, Christian. And I bet most people that invite to their home on a first date aren't dangerous, but you know, just being cautious. I always have first dates out around a lot of people, so yeah. My steakhouse fries and baked mushrooms. Ooh, baked mushrooms. That sounds amazing. I ended up like, I'm a good cook and I really like to make food, but I think it's super boring to make dinner just for me. So today I ended up having breakfast for dinner. I had oatmeal with raisins and banana and some nuts on top. So yeah, I had breakfast for dinner because I can. Oh, and white chocolate mousse for dessert. You really went all out. Was she impressed? She better have been with that menu right there. Meg, both good books. They have very different vibes to me, but I enjoyed them both a lot. Planning on reading the Dark Tower series soon. The Dark Tower series is really amazing, but I always say this to new readers that want to try Dark Tower. The Gunslinger, the first book, it is a bit of a wild ride, and you usually end up feeling a bit mindfucked afterwards. And I think for most people, it's a make it or break it right there. They either just hate it because they don't understand anything, or they're curious and really want to continue on. I was one of those who were curious, like, what is this? I have no idea where this is going, but I have to know. And it ended up being my favorite books of all time. So get through the first one and don't stop there. That's all I'm gonna say. It gets better and better. He was really high on drugs when he wrote the first book in the series. And that's one of the reasons why things doesn't really make sense all of the time. But yeah, things will make sense later on in the story. Christian, I think so, and I didn't cheap out on the red line. I'm thinking it's gonna be red wine right there. Ah, you really went all out. I'm impressed, Christian, and I wasn't even there. What kind of red wine was it? Now I wish I had some red wine, but I do have whiskey, so just have to take what I have. Christian, I just started reading Under the Dome because of you, actually. Oh, that's so nice. What do you think so far? How far along have you come? Is it daunting? I know it's a chunker, but yeah. Oh, you really went all out. I hope she was grateful for it. Now I might have to buy some wine tomorrow. I'm all out of wine. I got so much wine for Christmas. That's how I knew I won the gold medal of being single, was when the gifts that I got with the intention of, here's something to entertain you for the holiday between Christmas and New Year's, was a whole lot of wine and jigsaw puzzles. So that's my gold medal in single right there. Oh. Sorry, guys. That just ended up going down the wrong pipe there. So now it looks like I'm crying as well. Oh. Sorry, guys. Christian, it's very Stephen King. I'm not that far into it yet, but I have high hopes for it. It is really good. So that happened. Yes, Under the Dome is also one of my favorites. I really enjoy that one. I didn't like the TV series though. They just went way off plot or off the storyline, and it just got weird. Meg, have you read the Mr. Mercedes series? Yes, I have. All three. I really enjoyed the first one. Enjoyed the second one, but not as much. The third one, I feel like the third one felt a bit disconnected from the two other ones. Then they suddenly went, or he suddenly went, out on it being something very paranormal-ish, which he didn't hint to at all in the first two books. And that's not a spoiler, really. So it just felt a bit out of place. So yeah. Haven't watched the series though, because that has started, hasn't it? I think that already started. Not gonna say that for sure. Christian, last Stephen King book I read was 22/11/63 and I loved it. Oh, that's a really good one. Yes, that is actually one of my favorites too. 11/22/63 or 22/11/63 60. Ugh. Now I can't even speak. Sorry. But that is a really good one. Let's try this one more time. Oh, I'm currently reading the Bachman books, which is an old edition that has Rage as one of the stories in it, and I know that's out of print because Stephen King withdrew it and told them not to print it anymore because of school shootings that has been going on. So you can't really get it anymore. You can get it used, of course, and I was so lucky that I have a subscriber that sent it to me that had it on his shelf and was so kind to offer to send it to me so I could read it. And but I just started, so I can't really say anything about it yet. Meg, well, I accidentally read the second book first because I was on vacation and stressing, so I picked up Finders Keepers before a flight. But halfway through the book, I realized it was the second in the series. Oh no, that sucks. Oh, now I'm listening to the first book and I'm realizing audiobooks aren't for me. Oh, I like a few years ago, I really did not like audiobooks. I couldn't keep my focus with them. I ended up falling asleep all the time, and my mind started wandering. But now I love audiobooks, but I can't listen to it all of the time. I usually listen to it when I do my makeup in the morning, sometimes when I make food, because I have to do something else while I'm listening to it, but something that I do sort of on autopilot, so I don't have to focus on what I'm actually doing. So yeah. I used to take pics. I'm currently rereading The Stand. It's so good. Oh, The Stand too! Oh yes, that's so good. Oh, now I feel like I left a lot of good books out when you asked about favorites, Meg, but it's so hard to pick one because there's so many good Stephen King novels out there. Is it the second time you're rereading The Stand, or have you read it multiple times? I really enjoyed The Stand. I listened to that on Audible actually, and it was so long. I think it was about 50 hours long, so it took me a while. But it was just um, so very engulfing that it actually went by pretty quickly. Ace Pig said, yes, this is my second time. Oh, cool. Meg, I have a half-hour commute to work. I drive, so I thought I would try it out, and maybe I'll try with a different reader. The Stand is on my to-do list. Well, you could try The Stand as an audiobook. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the oh, I don't remember if this. Don't think it's the same one that reads the Finders Keepers or the Mr. Mercedes books. Let me just check that, because that's Will Patton, right? That is the narrator for Mr. Mercedes, and he's done a few other books by Stephen King as well, but I don't remember if The Stand was one of them. I will check. I used to visit. I'm also listening to it on audiobook for the first time. Yeah, it is really good as an audiobook. I really enjoyed it. Let me see here. So The Stand, we have it there. No, The Stand is narrated by Grover Gardner, so that's another guy. So if you didn't like the narrator that reads Mr. Mercedes, then try The Stand. But it is a long audiobook. It is about 50 hours long. Christian says, have you read anything by Fredrik Backman? He is Norwegian, isn't he? Yes, he is Norwegian, or is he Swedish? Now I'm a bit unsure. I think he is Norwegian. But no, I haven't read anything by him. This is almost embarrassing, but I'm really lousy at reading books by Norwegian authors, mostly because I read books in English for the most part, but yeah. When it comes to Norwegian literature, there are so much crime novels, and I'm not really that into crime. It just isn't my thing. Meg, I have a copy of it, so I will probably read it, but I will definitely check out that reader. Yeah, he was really good in that one. Isaac says, I'm looking forward for Pet Sematary audiobook. I think the guy from Dexter is narrating it. Oh, cool. Don't remember if I listened to Pet Sematary or if I read it. No, I read it. But I really enjoyed that one as well. But the thing with audiobooks, if you have the wrong narrator, it's gonna ruin the whole book. I've experienced that. I've had interesting books that I've downloaded in my Audible, and just because the narrator had an annoying voice or does something weird, that's gonna bug me. It was that with, what was it? Was it Strange Weather by Joe Hill, maybe? Yeah, I think it was that one where the narrator had this weird thing where I don't know if throughout the recording he got a cold or something, but his voice changed a lot even though he was the voice of the same character, and that just bugged the hell out of me. So Christian says, I read Min mormor hilser og sier unnskyld. Sorry, I didn't know the English or Norwegian title, but one of the best books I've ever read. Oh, okay, interesting. Like I said, I haven't read anything by him, so. Meg, do you read any nonfiction? I do. Not as much as I'd like to, but I do. I really enjoy books that go on the subject of human psyche that I think is really interesting, and also motivational books. I know that goes on the self-help category, but I really do enjoy some of them as well. And some biographies and autobiographies I really enjoy. So yeah, I do read nonfiction from time to time, but I really would like to read more of it. I used to take pics. That happened to me while listening to The Long Walk. Oh yeah, with the narrator changing his voice? Or you just didn't like him or her? I don't know. It's such a shame when that happens, because it could be such an amazing story, an amazing book, and then this one voice will just ruin the whole experience. So Meg, do you have any good nonfiction books that you would recommend? I just didn't like his voice. He sounded like a teenager. Oh, that's a shame. I remember listening to an audiobook. I don't remember what book it was, but the narrator in that one had such an annoying voice. It just sounded like this really just probably like a teenager that was just, I don't know what it was. It was a naggy, annoying voice, and I ended up not finishing it. I think I read it afterwards, but I don't remember exactly what book it was. Meg agreed. I love learning about human perspective. I'm currently reading But What If What If We're Wrong by Chuck Klosterman, and it's about looking at our present as if it were the past. Oh, that sounds really interesting. I might just have to take a note of that one, because that's one that I haven't heard of. If I can find a pen. Oh, sorry. Here you go. Where is it? Chuck Klosterman. Cool. I'm definitely going to check that out. He talks about music, sports, politics, and compares it to how we think of these things in the past. It gets dry, but it also very interesting. Yeah, I think a lot of books that goes on human psyche or perspective can get a bit dry, but if the subject is interesting enough, then you still are somewhat engulfed in it and want to continue on. HTTP says, I recommend reading Cast a Cold Eye by Alan Ryan. So good. Oh, what is that about? I haven't heard about that one. And Meg says he has a lot of experts in the med too, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, and people who totally disagree with. Oh, that's cool that he has people that disagree as well. I read Stealing Fire by Jamie Wheal and now I can't remember his name. But that's really interesting about workflow. Really recommend that. Oh yeah, there you go. Do you have any recommendations? So yeah, Stealing Fire is a really good one. Now it bugs me that I don't remember the other guy's name. Who was it? It's Jamie Wheal and let me see, I have it here. Stephen Kotler. And what other? The Ethical Slot by Dosey Easton and Janet Hardy is really interesting. It's about people that live in polyamorous relationships and open relationships, and the psychology behind that and how they survive as couples. So that's really interesting. The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. It's really good. And let me see. Oh, The Art of Asking by Amanda Palmer, which is where she talks about her career starting working as a living statue and how important it was with eye contact and the importance of not being afraid to ask people for help if you need anything. So that was a really interesting book to both listen to and read. Used to take pics. It's a creepy ghost story about a guy travels to Ireland trying to write a new novel. Ooh, that sounds like something that could be up my alley. I am gonna take a note of that one as well. Cast a cold eye. Alan Ryan. I always love that when I get recommendations for books and authors that I don't really know anything about, because I find it hard to discover new authors, because I usually end up auto-buying the authors that I already know writes good novels. So whenever I can get recommendations for new authors and novels, that's always awesome. Sometimes it's a hit and sometimes it's a miss, but yeah. I find that I often enjoy nonfiction the best as audiobooks. I think it's because the pace is really nice usually, and with handheld novels as a nonfiction book, I usually don't get the urge to continue on reading. Well, it's not usually as exciting, or you don't get end up sitting at the edge of your seat finding out what's going to happen next. So I usually take a very long time when it comes to reading nonfiction. When I read it in handheld novels, that's why I really enjoy that for audiobooks, really. Meg, have you read Jodi Picoult? No, I haven't actually. I remember we sold a lot of books by that author when I worked at a bookstore, and I saw the covers all the time, but I never really got to it. Would you recommend it? I really have no idea what kind of genre it is either. I just haven't been captured by it. So many authors and so many books and so little time. It's interesting just how many authors that are out there, and it would be interesting to know how many is actually living off their writing, because that is my main dream and goal, is to be able to live off of writing and filming at some point. But especially here in Norway, that's really hard to do because it's such a small country, and it's really hard to get into the writing industry here, or the publishing industry. So, Meg depends very different from King, mainly character-driven plots, somehow involving the court system. Two books I like: 19 Minutes and The Pact. So, oh, I need to turn the page on my notebook. We'll definitely check that out as well. Like, this to read list that I have is always growing and is going to be never ending. Let's see, 19 minutes and The Pact. Noted. I read a lot of books that are very different from King's novels. I do enjoy pretty much every genre except for crime. I have thought about maybe giving crime a new chance, but I don't know, I just got really tired of it. So we'll see. 19 minutes school shooting with time jumps from perspective of shooter's parents, victims. It's good. The Pact, two teens in love make a suicide pact, and only the girl goes, oh, that's heavy. They think it's the boyfriend. Oh, wow. That sounds really interesting, actually. I really like stories that revolves around darker, deeper, and they're realistic themes like this, and it's so current as well. So that is definitely something that I will have to check out. That's one of the reasons why I really wanted to read Rage by King as well, just to see what the hype is about, and if if I feel like it was the right choice by King to withdraw it from the market. We'll see. So Christian, did we lose you? Did you go away? Did you end up drinking all of that Amarone by yourself? It's always hard with books that revolves around, especially revolves around depression and mental health, because there are always going to be people who will feel offended in a way, that will feel that it's not realistic enough. So, but I think it's really interesting, and as long as the stories are done in a good way, that they actually portray something that is somewhat realistic, then it can be a really interesting read. Meg says, I usually like dark plots in books. Yeah, me too. Me too. Christian, now I'm here enjoying the Amarone and Googling books. Are you finding anything interesting, or are you Googling the books that we're talking about? I have a very strange Google history now because I'm trying to learn Dutch. And so I've been just slowly searching out, mostly in Google Translate. I search up word for word for word just to find out what they are. And then I use Duolingo as well. But I do search for Dutch children's books or child literature. I'm currently trying to read the first Harry Potter book in Dutch, and also Wonder. So it's challenging, but I really like it. Meg says, yeah, some schools in America read 19 minutes, and some parents complain because there is a sex scene between teens. Oh no. Ah, I find it to be a bit weird. With some people's reaction, especially in the States, when it comes to sexual content in books and movies, because I think the US is the only place where porn stars gets as much fame as they do, but whenever sex is mentioned in a more healthy way in books or movies, then they go totally ballistic. Or if someone shows a boob, or like, it's so weird. I find it to be really weird. I don't get it. Continue Googling the books you're talking about. Okay, cool. I think the thing that surprises me, because Norway is such a liberal country when it comes to showing nudity in the media. Like, if you go back and watch old Norwegian movies, which the acting is horrible, and it sounds like everyone is on a theater working at some play, but they they've never had an issue with showing nude bodies, like showing nipples or anything like that. So we've grown up pretty accustomed to that not being like a big shame, something that's shamed. So to see the culture around nudity in the States, it's really weird to me. And especially when everything else, when it comes to commercial movies, is so highly sexualized. Um, I just find it to be a bit of a double standard. Christian says, Dutch isn't that different from Norwegian, is it? I remember being on vacation in Holland and being able to understand Donald Duck in Dutch. I'm from Denmark. But, oh, you're from Denmark. Okay, cool. Well, I find Dutch to be a combination of English, German, and a bit Norwegian. So it's not that hard to read, but it's hard to understand when they talk quickly, because they have so many different sounds in their language that are way off from the Norwegian accents and sounds. So when they talk quickly, I find it a bit hard to understand, and I've just started learning it, so it's going to take me a while. but my last name is Dutch, so whenever I travel to Holland, the people immediately assume that I speak the language, which I don't. So I figured that it was about time that I got in touch with my roots that go way, way back in the family and tried to learn the language. Meg says, I thought it was an important book to read for all aspects, the shooting, the sex, drinking, bullying, parental expectations, what it means to be happy. I read it when I was in high school and 2 times. I agree, violence is no big deal, but a boob is the worst thing ever. Where are you from, if you don't mind me? I'm from Norway. I live in Oslo. But yeah, it is so weird. Oh, Max! Hey, Max! Welcome to the live stream. How are you, Max? I haven't seen you for a while. But yeah, it is very weird that so much violence and so much highly sexualization in music videos and games and everything, that's totally fine. But to show a natural body, that's an issue. That's where we're going to draw the line and get angry, apparently. I don't get it. It feels weird to me that we're going to make a big deal out of something that's very natural, but have it very, very much okay to show murder and blood and violence and over sexualized content that is far from normal. But yeah. So where are all you guys? Kristen, you're in Denmark. Where in Denmark are you, if I may ask? Mike says, have a nice chatting. Keep up the King reviews or anything you like. Have a great night. Have a great night, you too, Meg. Thank you for joining in, and hopefully I will see you soon. Yeah, I am going to try to do more King reviews as well. There are so many books by him, and so many of them are really chunkers. Oh, you're Canadian. Nice. Oh, Meg, I really would like to go to Canada once, or sometime in the future, because I haven't been there. But it looks really beautiful, and from what I've heard, it's pretty similar to Norway when it comes to the climate there, so... This just feels so relaxing and nice to actually sit down and not working. I mean, hurting. Is that... I have no idea how we're going to pronounce that in Danish. I'm not even going to try. In the west of Denmark, the Wild West. Okay, cool. I I gotta say, like, Danish, I find it really hard to understand it. Reading it is super easy, but when you guys talk and you talk fast, I I can't understand a word you're saying. Swedish, on the other hand, that feels like Norwegian to me because I grew up watching Swedish cartoons and I have family over there, so um, I rarely ever think about the language barrier at all. When people talk Swedish to me, it just falls very natural to me. When I was younger, I usually switched over to talking Swedish as well, but I'm thinking that I probably thought I was way better at it than I actually am, so I stopped doing it. Yeah. But it's weird that Danish, being such an easy language to read, is so hard to understand. She says Swedish is hard for me to understand, Norwegian is much easier. Wow, okay, that's interesting. Because I do think that Danish and Norwegian are more similar when it comes to the writing style and the words, but it is something about the pronunciation that just... I'm struggling with it whenever I hear people talking it. When I hear the well, if people talk slowly, and especially if they've been living in Norway for a while, then they're in Danish as well enough for me to understand too. So I'm just gonna take a bit of a picture right quickly. There we go. Max, did you go away or are you still there? I haven't seen you in the comments for a while. Christian Danish people tend to cut off endings of words, and I think that makes it hard to understand. Yeah, maybe that is it. I don't know what it is. And the number system that you have took me a while to get into that, but I don't have a problem with it now. But I always have to have just a little time to do the math. I'm like, okay, good. But yeah, that was a bit confusing at the beginning. So I'm not gonna be antisocial on my phone here. I'm just gonna send that picture out real quick. Now I was gonna write something different, and I ended up writing antisocial. There we go. Ugh. Is there anyone but me that has almost stopped using Snapchat? Christian, the number system. Yeah, the way that you, when it comes to money, and you have, I don't know if you use it all the time, but you have sort of a system where it's, is it 20 and 20 and 20, and then you withdraw when it's half, you withdraw 10 of them. I haven't thought about it in a long time. I usually get quickly into it when I travel to Denmark, but I'm rusty now. There we go. Because it is a very specific system. I think you're the only one who has it. I haven't heard of any other country that has the same system. But I'm not really that well traveled when it comes to Denmark. I've been to, let's see, Christian, not sure what you mean. Okay, let me think here. Now I don't even remember the names for it. So you have Fjash, which is 80, right? Which for us here would be just 80. And I never got on Snapchat. I'm too old. Well, I did use Snapchat a lot for a while, and then when Instagram ended up having all of the same features almost, then I was like, okay, I'm not going to prioritize doing two separate apps that does the exact same thing. But yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's what I mean, that that you have the numbers that sound completely different from what we had. For me, 80, in Norwegian, that is 80. So we have to kind of do the math when we travel to Denmark. But yeah, it's not really that hard. It's just that you have to really use your brain a bit and do the math while you're there. Oh yeah, I see what you mean now. Yeah. It's not really a big deal. I feel like we made a much bigger deal out of it now than it actually is. But yeah. But yeah, for what I'm not well traveled in Denmark. I've been to Copenhagen and Frederikshavn and Skagen and probably a few other places too, but I can't really remember. Have you seen the TV series called The Norseman or Viking? No, I haven't. I'm horrible at watching TV series, mostly because I don't have a TV. So whenever I watch anything, I watch it on my Mac. And because I work so much and I try to spend my time reading instead when I'm not working or when I'm having time off, then I end up not watching that many TV series. And I'm really lousy at watching them anyways because I will get super invested in a series and I will watch a season or two and then I will just fall off the wagon completely, and it will take me years to get back into it if I ever do. The only one that I am completely up to date with right now is Rick and Morty. That's one that I'm just waiting for it to continue on. Hey Patrick, welcome to the live stream. You speak English as well. Oh, do you now? Good for you. And I know. So Patrick, what are you doing up? Shouldn't you be asleep by now? It's Norwegian and so funny. I didn't know you guys could be so Well, we have our moments. We do. You never got into Rick and Morty? Did you try? Patrick is at a Skype meeting about a short film that he's playing in. Oh, cool. Interesting. Have you started filming it? Or is it something that's in the works? I mean, Rick and Morty is so good, but it is weird. But yeah, Rick and Morty, that's the one, and I think one of the very few ones that I've actually seen all of the episodes of is Gilmore Girls, and I know that's a really girly thing to say, but yeah, I binge watched that, and that's how lousy I am with series that I didn't see all of it before it ended up on Netflix now, even though I actually watched it when it came out the first time around. I remember watching it on TV, so yeah, it took me years. Patrick says we are filming in 2 weeks. We were just doing a reading and discussing it. Okay, cool. What is it about? Or is it a secret? Christian, I saw a couple of episodes, but it didn't stick for some reason. Oh no, that's a shame. Well, can't like everything. Patrick says you also check out BoJack Horseman as well. Yeah, I haven't watched a single episode of BoJack Horseman, but I've heard good things. But as I said, I'm lousy when it comes to TV series. I'm one of the very few that has only watched one season of Game of Thrones. Kristen says, I've seen Gilmore Girls, but shh, don't tell anyone. I'll lose my guys. Your secret is safe with me. I won't tell anyone. I'm currently sort of binge watching New Girl. Really enjoying that just because it's so easy entertainment. I can like put it on, have it in the background while I make dinner, and I don't really have to follow along that hard. Punch says, can't tell, but you will see eventually. Gilmore Girls is pretty cool, yeah. Yeah, it is pretty cool. I really enjoy it. That too is kind of easy entertainment. So you're being all secretive. Okay, it would be cool to see the movie project. Yeah, that was a late Skype call at midnight. What is going on with this hair? Oh, whatever. Oh, this is gonna bug the shit out of me. Oh shit. There we go. So guys, do you have any travel plans? I am going traveling in about, it's not even two, in a week and a half, and I'm so excited, and I'm very impatiently waiting for it. I'm about to almost start packing now just because it feels like it's so close. But do you guys have any plans for traveling? Christian asks, why did you work so much today? Are you always working this much? No, I'm not always working this much, but right now I do have a full-time day job as a saleswoman for Specsavers, and I just currently, or just a very short while ago, I got a part-time job as a writer for a small company. So I do now kind of do their edits on their new website, and I have to write all the text that they will publish on it. And they are going to relaunch their website pretty soon, and they have big investors that are really waiting for it. So they gave me this project, and it is a bit of a rush project with a short deadline. And on top of that, I also do some translation work for a union in the oil industry in Norway, and they've had some big cases. So while I was working on the website, I got um, two assignments to be translated that also had a really short deadline. So everything just ended up being piled up at once, and that ended up having me to have 3 days now where I've had work from 9 till about 4 or 5, then coming home, eating, and then working from 5, 6 until 11 midnight. So my days aren't usually that packed, but now it has been. And because I'm going to travel a bit in the near future, I really need the money. So I and I'm really bad at saying no when it comes to taking on assignments, even though it's a really short deadline. Kristen says no travel plans yet, trying to figure out where to go. I have a 6-year-old daughter. Oh, so it would be nice to go on vacation with her. I know. I have a 10-year-old son, and I would love to take him on more vacations, but it's so expensive to go alone with a kid. And especially because you can't take them out of school when there's no school holiday. And if you're going to try to travel during the school holidays, all the prices go. So we've done some short trips and we did to Copenhagen, the vlog that I have about that, which was really fun. So we try to do stuff like that, but taking on longer trips, it's just too expensive for me, unfortunately. And of course, it is totally different to travel with a kid than it is to travel alone. Now, the trip that I'm going on, I was almost going to say next week because it feels like it's next week already, but the week after that, I'm traveling completely alone. I'm going to live at a hostel. I'm going to, Kristen, yeah, where are you going? I'm going to Amsterdam, going there for VidCon Europe. So I'm traveling by myself, going to live at a hostel. I was going to rent a houseboat, but I was too late. All of the houseboats were rented out. So I'm gonna stay at this really cool hostel. It looks amazing, and I love staying at hostels when I travel alone just because it forces me to get out of my comfort zone and be more social with strangers, which is something that I really enjoy, but I am a bit of an introvert. I'm, like I say, I'm a non-shy introvert. So I really enjoy interacting with strangers, and I get a lot of energy from it. But if I am put in a room with a lot of strangers, and especially if all of or many of them have really strong personalities, then I'm the kind of person that will withdraw a bit and end up kind of observing what's going on before I enter the conversations. Christian says, cool, Amsterdam is a nice place to visit with a lot of experience. Yes, it is. I used to travel a lot to Amsterdam as a kid with my dad, but I haven't been there since I think the last time I was there I was about 10, 11, 12 maybe. So it's been a while, and so I haven't been there as an adult. So that's going to be a very interesting experience. I remember the trips that we used to take while I was a kid as very what's the word I'm looking for? I think they kind of shaped my love for traveling a lot, and I remember it being quite intense. We went to the Anne Frank house and stuff like that, which is we have Jewish heritage in my family. We're not like religiously Jews, and it goes way back, but we have heritage. My family had to go to Sweden during the Second World War to escape. So everything that's kind of connected to World War II feels very close to heart. So I'm thinking maybe I will try to get to take another trip to Anne Frank's house this time around as well, just because I want to experience it as an adult, if that makes sense. Yeah, and the VidCon thing is going to be really interesting. I really have no idea what I'm going to expect from that. If it's just going to be a whole bunch of people walking around with their cameras in front of their faces, which I'm pretty sure is going to be for me as well. But hopefully, I will get to network a bit and get to know a lot of new people in the business. So that's going to be interesting. And I do really hope that I will find the right place and the time and the money to get a new tattoo while I'm there as well, because that has become sort of a thing for me to take tattoos when I travel, so we'll see. Chris says, I know what you mean. I've been there as a child too, and as an adult, and the experience is very different. I can imagine. I'm thinking that this is going to be something completely different from what I remembered it being as a kid. But yeah, I really look forward to it. It was in my wanderlust as well. I love to travel, and if I could travel for a living, oh my gosh, I would have loved that. Krishna, do you know which tattoo you're gonna get? No. I do have a couple of ideas, but nothing that's very specific yet. I am I am going to continue on with the style that I already have a few of, so the traditional very the traditional style with much colors, but I'm not really sure exactly what I'm going to get. It's going to be something that's reflective of my personality and maybe the trip as well. And I don't think it's going to be that big this time around. Both the one that I got in Texas and the one that I got in Madrid has quite of a size to them, not like really big ones, but I think this one is going to be quite small. Just because I want something from the trip, but I don't feel like I have the money to really splurge on a new tattoo right now. I haven't done my research yet when it comes to like tattoo parlors. I need to do that before I go. I would love more tattoos, especially one symbolizing my daughter. I know, cliche, right? But still, I just don't know what to get. Yes, I do want to get one that symbolizes my son as well. But same as you, I don't really know what yet. And I don't want to do just the name. I feel like that's, I don't know. I don't like names in tattoos. So I really want to do something along that line as well, but we'll see. But it's nice to have sort of a tattoo memorabilia of your kids. And I'm thinking if there's ever a time that you want to do like a name, then it should be either your kids or your parents, because that's something that's not going to change no matter what. But whenever I see people who have tattooed the name of their partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, and I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone right now, you do you, but I always find it a bit cringy. Even though I'm from a family that has done that. My stepdad has my mom's name like on the entire lower wrist right here. He got that when we were in Vegas for like 2 years ago. So yeah. And my dad used to have a tattoo on his chest with the name of his ex-wife. He changed it. He got something different written on it. I don't remember exactly what. Christian names are just not a good idea. I know, right? But people have the right to do whatever they want with their body, and of course they can always cover it up with something else if they feel like it. But I'm not gonna go for a name. But I feel like the only name that would have been a safe bet for me would be my son's name. I could have done that, but I just find it to be a bit boring, and not that his name is boring, but it doesn't really fit with the style of tattoos that I have. So I would rather find something that is in the same traditional style that I have, but something that represents him. What would symbolize your son? What's special about him? Well, he has a few things that I feel would symbolize him. He does breakdancing, which is really a big part of his everyday life now. So that would be, that would definitely be something that would represent him. But then again, I wouldn't know if that's something that's important for him right now, and then in a couple of years down the road, maybe he will completely stop doing it, and then it wouldn't symbolize him as much anymore, maybe. I don't know. So yeah. I don't know. And I don't really want to do his face because I feel like that's so easy to ruin. I've seen so many bad tattoos of portraits of people that just looks awful. But he has the same extreme vivid imagination that I do, so maybe something about that. Maybe I could get him to draw something at some point. That would be kind of cool, but we'll see. What would you say would represent your daughter? Okay, tattoos are a hard choice. You have to really think about it. And I know some people like to just go into tattoo pros and go, okay, do whatever. I don't mind, have fun, and I for that. And some of those tattoos are amazing, but for me, I feel like the tattoo has to mean something for me personally, or else I think I'm gonna get bored of it. It has to be connected to some kind of memory or something that represents me. Um, but that's just me. But yeah, I am going to Amsterdam in a couple of weeks, or 1.5 weeks, and then I am going to Bucharest in the end of April, which is somewhere I've never been before, so that's going to be really exciting. I've been to Romania once before, but not in Bucharest. I really have no idea what to expect from Bucharest either. I tried searching up a few travel vlogs here on YouTube, found some, nothing that really popped out. That was super interesting though, but it looks like things are really cheap And yeah. Yeah, faces are not good either. They get so long in the face when you get older. That's true, that's true. Long and wrinkly. Oh, there are so many bad tattoos out there. It kind of scares me. And that being said, I have a tattoo that I have to do cover up on at some point, just because I have a full like song lyric on the top of my back, and the letters that were tattooed on were done very not very thin, but very close to each other. So they've grown together over time. Now you can hardly read it. So it's just a mush of words that is hard to read. So I'm probably going to do a cover up of that at some point. Don't know what would symbolize my daughter. Thoughtfulness, maybe creativity. Yeah, and how do you put that into a tattoo? That's really hard. Patrick, are you drinking right now? Yes, I'm having a nightcap. I'm having a glass of whiskey. Chris says, have you been to Prague? Yes, I've been to Prague once. I really enjoyed it. I didn't have that much time there, so I would definitely like to go back at some point. Been to Krakow as well was really, really nice city. Really enjoyed that place. That's one that I would really like to get back to at some point. There are so many beautiful, nice cities in Europe to travel to. So that's why I'm finding it very interesting to go to Bucharest now, because it was such a random thing. I have a friend that's traveling around the world, and he's been in South America for a while. And then he sent me a text, and it was like, okay, I'm coming back to Europe. I'm going there and there and there. And we kind of chatted back and forth. And was like, oh, it would be nice to meet up. And then he said, oh, I'm going to be in Bucharest from that date to that date. So I was like, okay, I found a flight. I will come and join. So it was it was just a very impulse thing, and it's going to be interesting. Whiskey envious. Only got beer on my end. Well, beer is good too. Could be worse. Could have had nothing. What kind of beer? Yes, this is a good whiskey, but it's getting close to empty, and I'm sad about it because this is a traveler's edition of Lafroig, so I can't get it. I can't get it in the stores here. I have to buy it. I think the only places that have it is sort of the duty free on some of the boats that go to Denmark and to Germany, from what I know. So. But then again, maybe I'll try another new whiskey that I can pick up on my way home from Amsterdam. Because I had a bottle of Lafroig that no, wait. Now I have to think. I bought a special edition of Jameson on my way home from Texas, which was really good. It was a lively. And then I bought this Lafroig bottle. So I've had it for a long time, actually. I've had it since I went on the trip to Kiel. That has been a long time. But I haven't tried that beer. Yeah, there's not much left in that whiskey bottle now. And it makes me kind of sad. Especially since whiskey is so expensive here in Norway as well. So I'm not going to buy a new one until I travel to Amsterdam. Probably going to get a new one on my way home. Video's lagging for me, be right back. Oh, that's a shame. Okay, see you soon, Christian. Let me know if it's lagging for anyone else. It looks smooth on my part right here, but we'll probably go on for about another 15 to 20 minutes, and then I am going to bed because I think even though I have plans to mostly relax tomorrow, I have a very good friend of mine from the US that is visiting um, Oslo at the moment, so I'm going to try to get some quality time with him before he goes back. So it's probably going to be a long day anyways, but yeah. And I have to do some writing and some filming because I haven't posted a video this week. So I have a lot of I'm so shitty at just relaxing. Uh I'm thinking that I would probably benefit from just going to one of those retreats where they kind of lock you up almost, or where you're in the middle of nowhere, no cell reception, no nothing, and just strip you of all the technology and just, yep, this is where you're at. Stay here for a week. I think that would have been really good for me. How much is a bottle of whiskey in Norway? Good question. Let me check what a bottle of Lafroig is right here. I don't remember what I paid for that one either when I was traveling, but let me see. Oh. It's too expensive, that's for sure. What does a bottle of whiskey cost in Denmark? See, I get the webpage up here, and we're going to search for Lafroig and see what it says. Okay, so let me see, there's a triple wood. Okay, so a Lafroig single malt 10 years goes for 530 kroners, and that's 70 centiliters. This one is a 4 oak. No, is it 4 oak? Yeah, 4 oak. So it's a travel retail exclusive. I think I gave about 300, 350 or 400 kroners for it. But I can see here that here are the special editions go for about 600 up to 1,000 kroners. So yeah, it's way, way too expensive. That's why I end up always buying it while I'm traveling. And because I do have the bottle for such a long time, it's not like I usually don't bring whiskey to party with, but I have it on my kitchen counter, and whenever I feel like just having a small glass of it, or you end up having it at the end of the night when you come home after being out dancing. So, Patrick, I'm gonna head out and need to game before I go to sleep. Good night, Christina. Good night, Patrick. Have fun gaming. But yeah, so a bottle of whiskey would last me for a while just because it's something that I like to sit down and enjoy from time to time, but not something that I drink a lot of. So I feel like I can definitely allow myself to buy a bottle from time to time. I think I've had this bottle since October last year, so it's been a while. And the one before that got empty at around August or September, and I had that I got home from Texas in May. So yeah. I'm not a heavy whiskey drinker, but I do really enjoy it. Cool. And so I have a dog, and dog hairs will appear at the weirdest places at the weirdest time. Like right now, I apparently have one stuck on my lip somewhere. And I haven't cuddled my dog for hours now because he's away now. He's not here, so I give up. First world problems. Oh, so I'm probably going to round this off in not too long. I should have done my exercises today as well, but I don't think I'm going to work out tonight. I'm going to do a round of workout tomorrow morning instead. But I'm so looking forward to going to sleep and not having to get up like super early. Or actually, I really enjoy getting up super early in the weekends just because then I have the whole day off and I can just get up and enjoy the morning, sit down and have a long breakfast and drink coffee, maybe read a bit, listen to music. But it's the going to work part that I look forward to not having to do tomorrow, that I can actually just spend most of my day at home before I'm going out. So hopefully I will get to film a bit and take some pictures for Instagram as well, because I haven't been that good at posting there recently, but I need to get better at that. And I need to film a couple of reviews and my February wrap up as well, because I haven't done that. So there's going to be a bit of filming tomorrow. So yeah. And I also mentioned on Twitter, I think it was, that I've been thinking about doing, just to kind of give myself the nudge to get back into vlogging a bit. I want to do a weekly vlog that's going to be called Tuesday Tag Along. So it's going to be bits and pieces from the entire week, from Tuesday to Tuesday. Or maybe from Monday to Sunday, then upload on Tuesday, maybe. We'll see. But I look forward to getting back into vlogging. It feels a bit intimidating now just because I haven't really done it in a while, except for when I'm traveling, so. It's about 350 kroners here. I'm not a big whiskey drinker either. Rum or cognac is much more me. I've never really gotten into cognac. Like, I can enjoy one with my coffee at some event. If someone gives it to me, I will drink it with the coffee and I will enjoy it, but I don't love it, so I'm not going to buy it for myself to have at home. But rum and drinks, sure. How do you meditate? I usually use guided meditations either on YouTube, or I have the what's it called, the Mindspace app. Let me check. Headspace is what it's called, which is quite a good one. But YouTube is amazing for that. Just to search up guided meditations. I usually do them in the morning, either after I've done my yoga or before I get out of bed. So I will either, if I do it before the yoga, I will sit up in bed and just plug my earphones in, or just have the phone lying next to me so I can hear what's going on, and just do that in bed, just to kind of get mindful and start the day off like that. Or I will get up and do my yoga, and then at the end of my yoga, while I'm sitting on my mat, I will go into doing meditation there instead. I haven't been that consistent with it recently, and I definitely can feel the difference. I can I definitely can see that my mind is much more of a clutter now that I don't meditate consistently. So I really need to get back into that, just to sort my mind out a bit and um, calm down. I do need to calm down. I'm in general a very calm person. I'm not like high energy, but I do have a pretty good reserve of energy, so I can do a lot of things at the same time, but I'm not like jumping up and down and being very energetic in that way. But I definitely feel the difference when I meditate and not when it comes to my uh, focus levels and my energy levels for things that goes with my psyche. So whenever I don't meditate for a while, I feel like my brain is just um, jumping back and forth and not being able to really work as productive as I want it to. So I definitely need to get back on track with that. Do you meditate, Christian? I had a hard time getting into meditation. I remember feeling that it was just, it felt a bit off. Well, I had the same thing with yoga as well. So it took me a while to actually get into it, but I've heard that that's a very common thing. And I can also do things that is not technically meditation, but does the same for the brain. So either doing like the adult coloring thing is sort of a way to let your mind meditate, and also jigsaw puzzles does the same for me. So if I don't feel like sitting down and just trying to follow a guided meditation, I can sit down with a jigsaw puzzle with about 500 pieces or so, and just let my mind like drift while I'm doing that puzzle. That will definitely do the same in a way. Yeah, 350 for a bottle of whiskey. Dang it. That's cheap. Now, alcohol in Norway is so expensive, and it's fine, but I think there are, well, it's good that it's high price on alcohol. It's not something that should be as easily accessible to everyone, but still, what I find to be a bit of a double standard there is that same with when it comes to food. Like sugary stuff, unhealthy stuff is so super cheap, and then you have the vegetables and everything that is good for you, which is super expensive. It's gotten better. They have some really good options now that isn't as pricey, but it just doesn't make sense. Same with like public transportation as well. If they want us to do public transportation more, then don't up the price all the time. It's insane. By now, the 30-day ticket that I buy every month is at 736 kroners. The last time it bumped up on the price, it increased in about 30 kroners, which is quite of a big jump. Did I lose you, Christian? Did you go? Probably gonna round off pretty soon now. Just so you guys know. This was so nice. I'm really glad that I did this. I was like sitting here at home being like, okay, should I jump on this? I haven't done a live stream in forever, so it kind of feels a bit intimidating to get back into it when I haven't done it for a while. And I didn't have anything specific to talk about. I just wanted to be a bit social and to chat a bit. So I always find it to be a bit daunting to get back into either movie making, like the usual stuff that I do, but also the live streams, because it is live and you never know who's going to show up, who's not going to show up, and if the conversation is going to run pretty smoothly. But this time around, I was super chatty, so it's not really a problem. And it was, I'm really happy that I did it. It felt like I got a bit of social time, even though I'm still here all by myself in my apartment. And I definitely should do more live streams in the future, and I do have some plans to have some friends on live streams again soon. It's always fun to have my girls on with them and with me, and I have some of my guy friends as well that has expressed their interest in showing up, so we're definitely going to do that as well. But yeah, so Christian, I think I lost you here. It got quiet. I don't know if it's lagging or what's going on, but I think I'm actually gonna call it a night now. This has been super fun. I had a good time chatting with you guys about books and whiskey prizes and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes just to see if anyone has some last words here, something they want to say, before I'm gonna round off, brush my teeth, and get to bed. I can hear my bed calling me right now. That's not weird since I've been up since 5 a.m. We're closing in on being up for 24 hours actually, so yeah. That's probably why I'm so restless. Oh, can't seem to send messages. Oh, that's a shame. Well, you got you got to send that one. Oh, that sucks. That's weird. Did you get any kind of error message, or did it just not send at all? You're going to bed too. It was very nice chatting. It was very nice chatting to you too, Kristen. Yeah, I had a good time. I'm glad that you showed up. Sorry about your anticlimactic feeling about the aftermath of the date, but I'm happy to hear that it was nice, and I'm very impressed by the food and the wine and the dessert, even though I wasn't there. But on her behalf, I am very impressed. I would be very, very impressed if I ended up going on a date and someone did that much of an effort. So yeah, let's just hope that it will continue on for a second and third date, and the rest will be history. Me, on my part, I sort of have given up on dating, so yeah. Mine and death, yeah. Well, we're kind of far apart, though. But that's sweet of you. Like I said, I sort of given up on the whole idea. Just remember, I'm not dangerous. My mom would probably beg to differ. I think she thinks that every guy that asks me out is dangerous in some way or another. Maybe. But okay, yeah. So I am going to head. That's a mom's job, isn't it? Yes, it is a mom's job to worry about stuff like that. It sure is. So yeah, I'm gonna head to bed now. It was super fun and nice to chat with you, Christian, and with Meg and Patrick and everyone that was here, and Max as well, even though he just popped in to say hi. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening and that you will get to sleep when the time is right for that. And I will see you guys in another video soon, and probably another live stream soon as well. I'm going to try to be more consistent when it comes to the live streams and do it a bit more often, because I really do enjoy it. But next time it will not be as impromptu and spontaneous as this one. I will give you guys more of a heads up, at least a few more hours or maybe a day ahead of it. So yeah. Christmas, have a great night, sweet dreams. Thank you, and you too. And I will talk to you guys sometime soon. Okay, good night. Bye, guys.